Well, well, well. You have decided you wanted to start making some noises behind the microphone. To that I say, welcome. Jumping into any new hobby can be a little terrifying if you don't know exactly what you're on the hunt for. Especially sometimes when the diehard hobbyist will hit you with everything and anything, and that could make it even more scary. In my younger days, I definitely fully believed it, and I embraced that mentality that you had to have the best of the best in order to start any hobby. Now that I have started to reach towards the later end of my late 30s, I can fully admit that I was wrong. And honestly, I feel the best approach to starting any hobby is to just find something that makes it fun first. And then you can start looking at the professional grade stuff later. Like if you're getting into cooking, you can just pick out some simple recipes that are only like 5 ingredients, and then you could start working around that. You can pick up pretty cheap kits and just start noodling around with them. Digital art, just find a software that you think would be pretty easy for you to figure out and just start drawing whatever little goofy idea you got going on in your brain. Music software, find something that's pretty easy to pick up, see if you can play around with some loops, and just start building off of that. Have fun with the thing that you want to get into. Like, seriously. And the microphones I bring to you today are definitely perfect for this philosophy. Just right out of the box, take them out, plug them into the computer, get to yapping. Now, smarter and more sound of mind people have fully disclosed that the microphones I bring to you today might as well just be toys. And they are, trust me, they are. But remember, we want to have fun with the things in order to get us into the hobby more. So what better microphones to use then, am I right? So as it's going to work is I'm going to show off microphones one at a time. I'm going to give you a little history on them, and they're going to go up against my golden boy that's sitting in the booth right now and what you're listening to at this moment as I yap directly into your face, the Neumann U87 AI. Now, microphone people are probably already going, dude, this is just hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. And you're absolutely right. But I also just want to see how much of a real difference is there between this microphone and those microphones if you're just doing this for the sake of yapping. There could be a whole other video for talking about why Neumann and particular XLR microphones are industry standard and why you should be using those if you're getting into this professionally. But for now, we're looking at this from a hobby level, like ship posting comics level, covering your favorite songs level, doing an impression reel of Sonic characters level, impersonating Johnny because you just want to be like him level. Also, the microphones we're looking at today for this review are on the cheap side these days. You can usually get them secondhand, just go through trusted vendors you'd find on like eBay, Amazon, dealer's choice. As long as you trust the source you're getting it from and it's at a good price, snag it. So the first microphone we're looking at is actually what inspired this video idea in the first place, and that is the Rock Band stage microphone. Like the microphone that came with the game when you got it. People use this, and they swore by it. And I have a couple of theories as to why. Since this was designed for like video game purposes where you are trying to actually sing the song correctly in the game, it is supposed to handle just about anyone who wants to stand up to the microphone and do such a thing. So I think it's actually a pretty sturdy boy. And when I was teasing about this video, there were a lot of people that came out and said, oh, they absolutely use this when they just started, canoodling around with stuff online. Some still use it. But chances are in 2008, if you were watching people covering Fallen Angel, some of the Higurashi songs, or even a whole U-type group band that was covering some songs, you heard this guy in action. So here's how the comparison shootout is going to work. I'm going to have this microphone be up against the Neumann microphone, and they're going to be recording my voice reading this passage at the exact same time. My Neumann just going through my traditional DAW software, and the contender going through my iPad on Twisted Wave, just as clean as you could possibly get both recordings. Let's do it! In my class, you will learn to think for yourselves again. You'll learn to savor words and language. No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. And I can see that look in Mr. Pitt's eyes, that 19th century literature has nothing to do with business school, medical school, right? Maybe. Mr. Hopkins, you may agree with him, thinking, yes, we should simply study our Mr. Pritchard and learn our rhyme and meter and quietly go about the business of achieving other ambitions. I have a secret for you. Huddle up. We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we're members of the human race. Okay, I think I kind of understand what the rock band mic people are all about with this one. This is better than I expected it to be. Don't get me wrong, it's very quiet. Like, I will probably have to crank it up just a little bit in post just so it kind of matches the same volume as the Neumann. But damn. Couple of things that I've got some minor gripes with, but it's not the end of the world. First, there's no live direct monitoring, and back in the day, that would have been a deal breaker for me because there really wasn't that many software options nowadays that you can get where you can do live monitoring with a mic like this. So that would have been kind of a little bit of a bummer. It also, if you hold this in your hand like you're doing video essays or you're doing live staging, the cable makes a little noise in your recordings. You didn't hear it on those because I cleverly trimmed those parts out. But yeah, I feel like if you got a quiet area that you can do this in and it sounds good, this microphone's not that bad. There's a slight tinniness to it, but I like to call that the Logitech flavor because I kind of seen that with a lot of their headsets in the past. Some of the microphones that they do themselves, their webcam microphones, it's a specific flavor that Logitech seems to really like. I think it's the noise canceling part that's doing it. Hi, I should have mentioned this while I was doing the recordings in the first place. I'm doing these in a 4x4x7 sound booth. That's probably not as accessible to everybody, especially if you're doing this as a hobby. So here's some quick fire solutions for you. Number 1, a closet full of clothes. Give yourself some space, do the recordings in there. Number 2, if you already have a little gaming setup, just get yourself some of these little sound padding things right here. They do a pretty good job. Number 3, closet full of these paddings. That also works pretty good. Number 4, blanket over the head. This one gets very hot and very annoying, but it works. Number 5, closet full of egg cartons? Question mark? Yeah, this actually kind of surprisingly works. I've seen a couple of old setups like this, and yeah, they diffuse the acoustics pretty well. I don't know how I feel about this. Number 6, if you really want to get creative and want to build something for yourself, PVC piping frame, moving blankets attached to the frame, bada bing, bada boom, you got a collapsible booth right there, look at you go. One of these methods will work for you, whatever is the most cost effective. Especially, if you're the guy who, has been coincidentally eating a lot of eggs. And now you just have a bunch of egg cartons lying around and you're wondering, boy, I wish there was something I could do with these. Maybe I should just stop eating eggs. But why would I stop doing something I love? All right, now, the next guy, he's definitely the most controversial out of the ones we're looking at today. Because if there's any of them that look like a toy, it's this freaking one. Ladies and gents and everyone in between, I give to you the blue Snowball. Literally blue edition. This guy snuck in to every voice acting forum I was on in 2008 and 2009. I don't know who started it, but this guy was a plant. This guy was a plant and just snuck in, and suddenly everyone was using him. And 2 of my leading factors as to why is 1, look at him. He's fucking goofy looking and I love him. And 2, he's got a neat little trick on the back. And more importantly, we joke about it that this is the one that looks most like a toy. This is the one that definitely treats itself like a toy. Because look at these freaking switches. It just says 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you go scree. So what these are the different pattern settings that the Blue Snowball can do. The first one is just your standard. It's called cardioid. That's the most optimal for voiceovers, podcasting, the works. Position 2 is cardioid with a negative 10 dB padding on it. This means it drops the sensitivity level on the Blue Snowballs, so if you're doing anything with it like drums or guitar, or if you're a very, very loud singer or voiceover talent, like if you're doing monster effects or horror noises, that's pretty handy. And then the final one is omnidirectional, so if you're doing like group things and this is the only microphone you got, this will pick up signal from wherever you're facing it. It's also the one that makes it sound the most cruddy when you're doing omnidirectional because it's really picking up everywhere, where cardioid is more directly in front of the grill on this boy. So, this little goofy bastard from 2008. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, you're gonna want this on the -10 padding, because if you heard this all the time with all the fuzzing and whatnot, you start to lose your goddamn mind. So let's just do the monologue. Okay, here we go.
I am hurt. A plague on both your houses. I am sped. Is he gone, and hath nothing? No, 'tis not so deep as well, nor as wide as a church door. But 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you will find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague on both your houses! Sounds a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death! A braggart, a rogue, a villain, that fights by the book of arithmetic! Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm. So yeah, as you can see with the orb, you really can't use it at its normal state. It's very crunchy. Once you flip that thing on, it sounds pretty cremulent. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it sounds clearer than I remember it being, and then we started hitting the more rough patches of the Mercutio monologue, and that's when the -10 dB really got put through its paces. With the padding put down, I noticed a lot of bass seems to disappear in, like, my voice. So if you definitely are, like, in the more baritone or bass area, this might not work so hot with your voice. But if you're on the higher regiment, I think this might be pretty decent for you to get started with. But hey, if, like, the crunchiness is your thing, like, if you're, like, a rage gamer and you like having that crunchy audio just for the sake of, like, sounding even more angry, Godspeed to you. This could be the boy. This is also the first time I get to introduce you to, like, one of the freak cables I had to hunt down for this, because my iPad is USB-C, and when these first came out, these were still rocking USB A to B. So I had to find USB A to C. Look at this monstrosity. This should not exist or work, and yet it do. Our next contender is one of my personal favorites, and is my old reliable for traveling purposes, the Samsung CO1U Pro.
This, back in 2008, this was a titan in its time. This was the cool kids microphone.
Because this one looks like the most legitimate out of, like, the microphones we were looking at today.
He also had an XLR brother,
And he was also really good for starting out. Especially if you're going into the XLR direction of microphones, that's also a really good starter one.
but just get a look at this guy. He's so slick looking, and he travels very well compared to the other two behemoths we're going to be looking at later.
The little rock band microphone definitely could travel, for sure.
But also I feel like I would lose it just on how small it is. But this guy's pleasant on the eyes.
All right, let's do it. Grant them removed, and grant that this your noise hath chid down all of the majesty of England. Imagine that you see the wretched strangers, their babies at their backs and their poor luggage, plodding to the ports and coasts for transportation, and that you sit as kings in your desires, authority quite silent by your brawl, and you in ruth of your pinions clothed? What had you got? I tell you, you are taught how insolence and strong hands should prevail, how order should be quelled, and by this pattern, not one of you should have lived an aged man. For other ruffians, as their fancies wrought with the same hand, self-reasons and self-right, would shark on you. And men, like ravenous fishes, would feed on one another.
Oh, that's my boy right there.
Yeah, like, I love my Samsung. I really do. He's got his own gripes, though. Unlike the last two, this one does have live monitoring, so you can hear yourself talk while you're using it. Controlling gain is a little bit trickier, and you might have heard in those playbacks that I got a little crunchy on certain parts. You should have seen him when I left it at the default gain, which was all the way up. Oh boy, did that sound deep fried. But Samsung has this sweet spot to it that it usually hovers around like 70 to 80% gain that just really makes it sing, and I love it. A lot of cadence gets picked up on the lower end of the monologues, which is really nice to have. And honestly, I think it's kind of why it became my travel mic. Like, obviously, I don't send yelling samples with it, but if there is a specific sample that they're looking for and I'm on the road or I'm in my car, and can pull over to the side of the road or in a parking lot or just when I'm usually in there crying, it's pretty good to have. So now what if I told you that at the same time this came out, for 20 to 30 bucks more at the time, this guy has a brother who's taller, sleeker looking, could actually book you some independent gigs of voiceover talent, and also was approved by THX in its sound chip. And that's right, I'm talking about the Blue Yeti! It's not really blue, it's silver. They also made a black version of it that's pretty cool. That was the Pro one that had an XLR attachment to it, and that one's really neato. But this one's special. So, when this came out, that THX approval thing was actually slapped onto the chassis of these microphones, and it actually made sense as to why. So USB microphones, at that time, had a particular static to them that you could hear, and it just has to do with sound cards and stuff like that, and quality. You might have heard it in the recordings with the Blue Snowball and my Samsung and the Rock Band microphone. It's just there. Sometimes you just gotta do some cleanup or whatever. But this guy's DAC, digital to audio converter, was so good at the time that it met THX's standards of high fidelity audio. And this one takes itself a little bit more seriously as a microphone. He's got 4 modes, and you can look at them on the back, and he doesn't treat them like numbers. Look at those little symbols, what does those mean? So the first one, that's cardioid. Second one, that's stereo, so if you're doing duet stuff, or if you're doing things like immersive audio where you want the left and right channels to do different things, that's what that's for. You got omnidirectional again, and then you got bidirectional, which I find is the more unique one because it records from the front and the back. So if you're doing like interviews, this one's really good to have. But as you probably have guessed, it's on this list for a reason, so there's a catch. This thing's incredibly sensitive. I swear to God, when I had this thing during college, pull up the cringy photo of me. I had to live this photo, now so do you. This thing is uber sensitive. I swear, this thing could hear my thoughts sometimes, how sensitive it was. If I was recording anything hungry, your stomach noises would get picked up by this thing. I now understand why every ASMR channel uses this thing. You're getting the tinglies that you like, and you definitely don't like. Anyway, let's see how it does against Up Golden Boy here. Here we go. The Eiffel Tower gets slightly bigger every year. That's because it's alive and slowly absorbing the girders and I-beams from the other buildings in the city. The French government didn't want to alarm its citizens, so they made up a story about it being built by an architect. But that's not what happened at all. In fact, despite its name, the Eiffel Tower isn't really a tower at all. It's a parasite. You see why 2009 voice acting scene was kind of all about this mic? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, the cadence is there. Like, the natural tones are kind of exactly what I'm looking for. It's good. That being said, there had to be some finagling to get it done right. Because before that shitpost of a monologue, I actually tried to do one from Clannad After Story as Tomoya, and it picked up some things they didn't want it to pick up. Like, it is summer while I'm recording this. Well, it's the beginning of summer. So I had one of my fans in the window 12 feet away. 12 feet away from my booth. My booth is closed. Yet he picked that up. I was living only for the sake of living. I'd get up, go to work, eat, and sleep. I simply repeated what my body did out of habit. That's how I lived every day. This is why ASMR people love this microphone. You wrinkle paper or anything in front of it, it'll pick up every little piece of wrinkle that you make in it. But yeah, like, if you had, like, a pretty solid sound booth, you want to pop that in, feel free. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you have the money to do, like, a fully enclosed sound booth, you might as well just start looking at XLR mics, I'm not going to lie. Now, there are a bunch of other USB microphones that I would have loved to have grabbed, but they were just either unavailable or went kind of beyond the price point I was looking for this idea of just cheap, fun microphones that can get you started on this. But let me give 2 honorable mentions to the Apogee MIC 96K. That's going relatively cheap these days. When it first came out, it was ungodly expensive. But it was a really good portable microphone that worked really well with iOS software. So if you were doing anything with like iPads, like if you were a traveling musician, that was really great. And the USB edition of the Audio-Technica AT 2020. That is also a pretty much golden child from 2008 to 2009. But it is one of those things, it's still so good, prices still run relatively high on that boy. Like, I think the one that I was looking at, like, even at the lowest level, was still more expensive than the Rock Band mic, the Snowball, and the Yeti combined from where I got those from. So now you're probably looking at the runtime and you're thinking, this guy's got one more mic, doesn't he? Well, yes and no. I tracked down the very first device I ever, quote-unquote, proudly used to start auditioning for things. And boy, what the hell was I thinking? Ladies, gents, and everyone in between, I give to you... I can't even say it seriously. The Logitech USB A00052 headset with noise canceling. I will fully admit I'm ashamed and cringed at the idea of me ever using this and auditioning for things and thinking, this will help me book the things. But boy, did I use it. Now, full disclosure, there are some headsets out nowadays that do relatively really well. Like Audio-Technica has got one called the BPH S1 that is a really fun XLR headset mic to use. I loved using that for like monster and creature voices because I do a lot of head movement when I do stuff like that. So have that directly attached to my face was great. But this is not something you should be using for professional stuff. I don't even know if it would work great for shitposting, but we're going to listen to it anyway. Play it!
Oh man, I have not felt this sensation in a while. Oh boy. We are no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I.
A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. And you wouldn't get this from any other guy.
I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. And I've got to make you understand.
I'm never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down.
I'm never going to run around or desert you.
I'm never gonna make you cry. I'm never going to say goodbye.
And I'm never going to tell a lie and hurt you.
God, it's like going down memory lane of like those old YouTube videos where everyone was just using a headset to do commentary. Oh, God. But yeah, there's that good old tinniness I was talking about before with Logitech stuff. Oh, my God. I mean, I'll at least give the headset some credit. You could hear my voice in it. That's something. A lot of the higher and mid parts of my vocals kind of peeked through, and I guess that's fine. I don't know, man. I went full in expecting that it would be the crunchiest thing in existence, but it's not bad. I've heard worse. I've heard better. Like, if you kind of just want it for conference calls, it's fine, but like if you're getting to like, you know, like hobby voice acting, or it's just, I don't know, pick better. Don't be the guy that goes up to like the open audition things at Anime Expo against Bang Zoom like, well, hey guys, how you doing? My current setup is a Logitech headset with the noise canceling, so you get that crystal clear quality out of me. Here is my resume of the 99 fan dubs that I have been in. I'm very good at Sasuke Uchiha. You just put me in case you never get Yuri Lowenthal. I can do it for you guys, believe me. So now, my final thoughts on what microphones I think out of these well, I guess 5, but really it's 4 of these ones that I would say would work best for your kind of ideal situation of like breaking into this and what you wanted to do. If you're getting into like video essays or narrations or anything like that, I would still go with the Samsung CO1U. Like, that's why I still use it. Like, for traveling, it's really great for me to like record samples immediately if someone needs them, just to like get an idea on a voice and I'm not at my booth to do it. He sounds great. Throw a blanket over yourself in the hotel room, it'll do wonders. If you're getting into the more immersive audio or the ASMR route, like if you wanted to do some fun ones, or if that's the thing that you want to do to get started, Blue Yeti, absolutely. The fact that you have so many dial options on that boy that you could get super immersive with your audio. And for voiceover work, he's still pretty good. Like, you can get lucky and book like independent projects, or like if your friend is doing something and they want just microphones and sound decent, he'll get the job done. Like, my first 2 breaking gigs were for Mondo Media and Freedom Planet, and I was using this guy. And there are some content creators and streamers that, you know, swear by this, and good on them. Like, if this guy sounds good and you're doing this for entertainment purposes, stick with him. He's great. Now, if there is a aesthetic that you're looking for, and like if you're not too keen on like super maximum audio quality sound, like if you just want a fun microphone to have for your setup, like if you've got like a sci-fi steampunky sort of vibe, I think Blue Snowballs really fit that aesthetic. I will personally say though, if you're gonna go that route, look for the older models. Logitech picked up the production on both the Yeti and the Snowball, and I've been informed that like some of the newer models of the Snowballs have not been that great. Things probably just got lost in the sauce when they're producing that money, because that's the problem when a microphone gets super duper popular and everyone's suddenly using it, and now everyone wants one at the time. You make too many, you cut corners to save money, and you get what the internet loves to call the inshedification. But yeah, go to secondhand vendors. There's a lot of trusted vendors on eBay that handle a lot of the Blue Snowballs from back in the day. There's some funky colors you can get with them, like blue. Like, these normally came in black and white. I saw the blue one. I had to have it. Just look at it. I'm keeping this. This is going on like my little cabinet wall somewhere. He's so cute. Look at him. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I know this was a completely different change of pace of what I normally do on this channel, but, you know, I've been at this for, you know, going on plus 15 years, and kind of just wanted to see how things have changed, not only for myself, or like if these microphones can still hold up. I mean, I had faith, because look at my freaking Neumann. This one in particular, this is the 1990 model. This guy and I are the exact same age, and he's still doing his job. Love you, man. Keep up the good work. Please don't die on me. If you had any of these microphones, talk to me about your experiences with them. Or if you had one in the past that definitely ran circles for you that I didn't talk about, please let me know in the comments. I kind of love tracking down these goofy little guys and seeing how well they do compared to the industry standard. Getting the hobby should be fun. And if there's like anything that I do that you kind of want like a fun crash course in and just get started, let me know. Because I know I do a lot of stuff. I don't sleep, guys. I've tried closing my eyes and pretending, and just nothing happens. I just have to keep making shit. Now let me go get the cat. We can't end on a downer. We gotta go. Let's get the cat.
Jojo, thank you so much for your help with this video. You're a very good assistant. If I had the power and the ability, I'd give you lots and lots of treats. I mean, I do, but I'm pretty sure that's bad for you. Wait, what are you looking at? Oh, you know the camera. Oh, no. Oh, wait. Well, oh, God. We can't make out your face. You're the all-consuming void in the shot. What are you doing? There we go. There's your face. Look at that high-quality face right there. Oh. You're a good baby. You're a very good baby. Love you.